Today's video is sponsored by Paragon the Overprime. Paragon the Overprime is a free team-based third-person shooter action MOBA with super realistic graphics and very unique characters. Paragon the Overprime is set to come out in 2023, and I cannot wait for it to be released. Before I get into the top 5 reasons why Overprime is different than other MOBAs, let me give you some backstory to see how this came to be. Paragon was originally developed and published by Epic Games. After 2 years of open beta testing, the game shut down in 2018. But also in 2018, Epic Games released $17 million worth of Paragon content for free. And indie game developers around the world utilized those assets to develop their own game. Korean developer Rocketmania started developing his own game called Overthrow using the Paragon assets. The game developed a small following and even helped him land a game development job. Rocketmania was an independent developer who ran the servers, the community, and the client all by himself. After some time, he couldn't continue to run Overthrow and closed down the servers. While another group of Korean indie developers called the Prime X team was working on a Paragon successor also. They heard about Rocketmania's work and was impressed by him. So the Prime X team reached out to Rocketmania and they combined their forces to create Paragon the Overprime. It would be eventually picked up by Netmarble F&C, who realized the potential of this team and would support their project financially and provide more assistance to the team members. Today, developers from all the previous projects combined forces to create and develop Paragon the Overprime. And now I want to give you 5 reasons why I think Paragon the Overprime is much different than other MOBAs currently out there. First very unique thing is the verticality of the game. If you notice during the gameplay that there are all kinds of different platforms and stairs to go up and go down, it's not just one small flat battlefield. And this helps the people that truly want to show their skill because it's not just aiming left to right. You have all of the different angles you have to consider when you're aiming and trying to fight people. Second thing is the unique map and map portals and objectives that are on the map. You have 2 portals on the sides of the map that are connected to each other, which these can lead to very interesting gank opportunities and even use them to escape. The different objectives and monsters on the map are very important to get as a team also, because they will make winning the game much easier and make it way more difficult on your enemies. First, you have the red buff that increases your physical power by 10%, and gives you a dot damage effect on your auto attacks that slows by 15% as long as you have the red buff. Next up is blue buff, which increases your magical power by 10%, decreases your cooldowns by 10%, gives you mana back per second, and creates a shield that absorbs 300 damage. And those are just the minor buffs. When you get to the big buffs, things change a lot. You have spirits of different kinds that grant your whole team a buff and give your team money. And there is also the Prime Guardian, who is a very tough boss to beat. And if you can take it down with your team, it'll give you a huge advantage going into late game. There's also a bunch of bushes you can hide in, so you can set up ganks with your team, or try to get the drop on somebody and them not be expecting of it. You can even use them to juke auto attacks and try to wiggle back and forth while somebody's shooting it into the bushes. There's a ton of counterplay with this tall grass. Third thing is that every character feels uniquely different. It doesn't feel like you're playing a bunch of characters that do the same thing but look a little different. Character has their own interesting skills, interesting builds. They can even range if they do ability damage, or they're more into auto attack damage, or they're even melee characters. Like for instance, my favorite character is Revenant. He doesn't operate like other ADCs, but he only has 4 auto attacks before he has to reload his pistol. But on the 4th auto attack, it does a ton of damage. Also, his ult can be used to drag people into another dimension. So it's only you versus them in a 1v1. And if you kill them, you get even more money. You can use this in a ton of different ways. You can use it to grab somebody that's running away. You can use it to grab, possibly somebody that's causing problems for your team and take them out of the team fight. There's tons of different opportunities to use this and experiment and try and figure out what's best with them. Another one of my favorites is Grux. Does a ton of melee damage and also has a ton of CC. If you are ignored too much, you can absolutely wipe a team with Grux. Which brings me to my next thing is the items. There are so many different item combinations to figure out for each character that the options are limitless. Usually the itemization part of the game is my favorite part, and I love figuring out different wacky builds for the characters so they can do what they do best even better. And finally, the last reason, and probably the best reason, it's free. Early access to Paragon the Overprime will open on December 8th. These reasons and so many other reasons are why I think Paragon the Overprime is gonna make a big splash in the MOBA community. And for all you hardcore grinders out there, there's even a ranked ladder. so you can climb and ascend and try to be the #1 Paragon player. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Also, take the chance to check out Paragon the Overprime in the description down below.